Hey y'all, welcome back to Sitting with Ashley. I'm Ashley. I don't know, this is a mix between collective coffee and daily decolonizing. No, this is daily decolonizing because it comes with a fucking assignment. So, yesterday I was talking to my neighbor, or no, not my neighbor, I lied. I was talking to someone in the community who is a Democrat, really good person, good head on their shoulders. I don't affiliate with either political party in the United States. I don't do that anymore. But anyway, the reason I'm telling you this is daily decolonizing, because this conversation was great. It was interesting, and it was also very problematic in several ways. So I started talking about the campuses and like, oh my God, aren't you so proud of these students? And this person and I had talked about Palestine a little bit towards, like in the fall. And so it wasn't, what it is now. And their opinion wasn't, as gun-ho. They're a Democrat, right? They're one of those like vote blue no matter who folk. But anyway, I enjoy having these conversations. They are also a boomer. And I think that we really also need to shed light for boomers and support them. And so we were talking, they were talking about the civil rights movement and that they were alive for and participated in. I think they were young. But anyway, we were talking all about those things and talking about now. And I'm like, aren't you so excited? Aren't you so proud? And something came up about voting, and I was like, well, I'm not voting for either of them. I will be voting for a third party. And they got really mad at me, like really mad. And I'm like, I'm not trying to offend you, but I mean, it's my vote. I can do with, what I want with it, And I'm like, I don't even think it matters. I'm like, have you heard about AIPAC? All of the people who are on the ballots are bought and sold by AIPAC, like our government is, our government has been compromised from the inside, by a foreign entity, so I will not be voting for anybody who has AIPAC funding, right? I'm telling her this and she's getting mad. She's like, that's so stupid, and I'm like, well, like, hey, I haven't even voted in the past two presidential elections because I didn't like the options. And this time I will be voting against both options. So anyway, we're talking about this and somehow, they calmed down and, we moved on. And somehow they were, talking about, they said, because I let it be known that I'm a revolutionary. I identify, with anarchism and revolutionary politics than I do anything else. / that's, when you're talking to these folks, you have to kind of lay it on a little bit thin sometimes for it to be received. So anyway, I don't let folks know how hardcore I am anyway. And so it came up, she said something about, well, I would be revolutionary, if it came down to like hiding people in our houses. And I was like, right on, fuck yeah. But then a few minutes go by and the conversation has, gone down this windy road. And all of a sudden she says something about the homeless folks, and how she does not give money to homeless folks. And I understand because I grew up, and that was always my, like, she's like, I'll give them food and I'll give them other things, but I won't give them money because I don't want them to buy this, and this with it. We know these comments, we know these conversations, and having been an student organizer in Skid Row, which is the homeless capital of the nation, money is very important. It's, food is great, but like, and then there's always that conversation about like, well, when you get home from work, just because you have a home, do you crack a beer or, whatever? I mean, this person's retired and I didn't engage in that conversation. I was just a receiver of the information and I nodded politely because I did not want to get into it. After this conversation, change the subject. So this is the point of daily decolonizing. I want to talk about how we use our money. we just talked about the cooperative economics, and whatever you share with people, especially people who are in need, you're gonna get back. I at first was this was years ago, before I really immersed myself in Skid Row, before I myself was homeless. Being homeless and being in poverty, not even homeless, but in those situations, it's incredibly expensive. It's much more expensive to be experiencing poverty or homelessness than it is to have a home. Relatively speaking, of course, you're not thinking about mortgages and stuff, but I'm talking about, you don't have a pantry to keep shit in. You don't have a bathroom. You don't have a place to keep stuff. All of those things. You get parking tickets, you get fines, you get all of these penalties and there's lots of shit that people don't understand, So when people are asking for money, if you're if you have to swallow your pride enough to sit on the fucking side of the street or stand somewhere and hold a sign or ask someone for help, I don't even like asking anyone for help, much less for money. Oh, hi. Wow, there's a spider right here. Sorry, getting a little defensive. I'm not doing anything. I'm just talking. Anyway, I think it's really important to understand when we think about revolution specifically, and when we think about anti-capitalism and mutual aid replacing the systems that are right now, I get excited. I wish I had money. If I had a ton of money, I would make sure. Like that question, if you won the lottery. My answer has always been the same. It's changed a little bit because I was much more generous before. But now it would be like, I would get myself a house and probably a car, put a little bit away for my kid, and then I would fucking make the world a better place. I would love to have fucking money. And I have some tax money, and I've been finding people to give money to, organizations on the ground in Gaza, people on the ground for working with refugees. And today I've connected with some families in Gaza and have donated to their GoFundMes that they have and shared those. But it's making me really think about what she said. And there's nothing against her. It's just, I was there at one point, and that's why the decolonizing journey, because a lot of Democrats too don't put any additional work into their political views. They, label themselves as this friendly Democratic person or a liberal or a progressive or whatever, donate, 10% to their church and to charities or whatever, and call themselves good. But there's so much more to that, like just the consciousness and everything. So it was that's why I didn't want to get into it. I'm not, and I understand, I understand. I believe my family's a lot like that. And, I'm the poor one in the family. So, but anyway, I just wanted to share, and my challenge to you is I'm going to be doing as much circulating and donating as I'm running out of money personally. I don't have a lot right now. But when I get more, I will definitely continue sharing some of that with others, right? Especially folks who are experiencing or trying to flee genocide. Or have. Well, I want to stick to the folks in Gaza. But anyway, there's just all of these efforts happening to support folks, supporting encampments, supporting the folks who are standing their ground, in support of Gaza, and not just Gaza or Palestine, but also Sudan and, Congo and Haiti, and everywhere else in the world that needs fucking support. There is enough energy. We don't have to pick and choose struggles, especially when we understand the interconnectedness of struggle, right? Which is part of the decolonizing journey. Once you understand that, like I said earlier, an example of that is just homelessness. And now homelessness is being criminalized. And I think that's what makes these encampments so much more powerful, is that and I don't know if that was done intentionally or not, but because homelessness is now being criminalized all over the country, it's really cool to see encampments popping up. And I'm not sure we have the bridge to homelessness yet, which is why I wanted to come on and share that conversation, because that's what it makes me think of. And I always get confused when folks who have experienced any sort of oppression can't understand other people's oppression. Like, for instance, a queer or, you know, person can't understand, you know, the disability. I'm just pulling two oppressed groups, right? I can't pull my paper because of the spider right here. It's just a daddy. But anyway, I just wanted to share that. So the assignment is, go to my Instagram. I'm going to be working on compiling a list of GoFundMes, either in a link tree or in some way to make it easily accessible. I feel like I can do it really easily in the community tab here on YouTube. I'm running out of time though. So check back with that. But families in Gaza are really, really, really looking for support and getting GoFundMes circulated and obviously donated to. If you have money, please donate. If you have rich family members, send them to them. Hey, that's what I do. But anyway, just wanted to share. So remember that all struggles are connected and we all have a common enemy. And that is Zionism and white supremacy and evil entities and governments. Yeah. And remember that money is just a fucking tool. It's a tool. It's not a status symbol. I mean, sure, the society has made it that, but when you start decolonizing, you recognize it as a tool, you know? And then it's also like, oh, I used my tools, and more will come, you know, when you're out of money. It's whatever. All right. Have a good one.